Hey, Riding Side Saddle, it's Tammy.
And Lisa.
And we're back with Erika.
Hi,
our
guys.
4-part series.
Woo!
This is part 4.
Thank you so much.
This has been so great.
This feeds my soul, so
Good.
I love it.
Because it feeds my soul and my brain. Like, I know I get quiet during these. I've been quiet during some of these episodes because I'm processing so much information and I'm thinking about all of the ways that things could have been different for me, but they weren't. And I'm not, you can't undo it, right? But going forward, how I can support myself, even if I'm not in the middle of my fertility years, my body is still doing things that I'm not even aware of that need to be supported.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's a really good launch off. Erika has been with us. This is our 4th of our series. She's spent like 2 hours stuck in the car with us.
Right.
So thank you very much for that. Erika, I met her, it has to be now like 3 or 4 years. I thought it was only 2.
I
Time
think we're
flies.
going on 4.
Maybe. Wow. Well, she's my chiropractor. And I had mentioned in a previous episode, I did not understand for most of my adult life until, the last 4 years, that I needed to support my body regularly from a nervous system perspective, just to allow my body to work the way it's designed. Honestly, I really leveraged chiropractic historically as, this hurts, have to fix it. Go in for a series of treatments. It feels better. Now I can go and live my life.
Fixed now.
Yes. Mm-hmm. As we're learning through conversation about your book, your ebook, which is called
Hormone Health and the Endocrine System.
Thank you. The nervous system and the endocrine system work very much in tandem together.
100%.
To help support
everything that happens.
Yes. I mean, as women, really, it helps support
literally
the way we
everything.
function through hormones. So we have been talking about this through each of these parts of the series, understanding the endocrine system, talking about cycle syncing, which is really hard to say. Talking
about, to think about that when you
really
say it.
do. Birth control, the woes of birth control, and some options and better alternatives to that. And this time we're going to be talking about menopause.
Yeah.
Woo!
Woo! We made it, ladies.
We're finally at my bus stop.
I love it. So, yeah, I guess I'll just start by touching a little bit about, Lisa kind of alluded to it. The endocrine system really comes back to that nervous system. Nervous system is going to be that brain and spinal cord. It's going to coordinate and control absolutely everything that happens in our body. It's what's going to be signaling to our endocrine system to create the different hormones, go through these different cycles, different shifts, and then ultimately get us to a different phase in life. So it's what's going to signal to start puberty, start our cycles, get to the fertility years, have babies, and then get to that menopause where things start to change a little bit.
They sure do.
Yeah, they do.
A little.
Yeah, I mean, I got a whole list of things that start to, symptoms that start to pop up.
Oh.
I'll just say check. Check.
Yes, correct. But there's so many different things that happen during menopause or kind of those stages up to menopause. Things like you don't have a cycle anymore. So those hormones are not having those big drops and shifts.
The swings aren't so big.
Correct, yeah. Hot flashes, night sweats, vaginal dryness, joint aches and pains, mood changes,
check.
sleep disturbances or fatigue,
God.
low libido,
check.
Decreased muscle mass, bone loss, weight gain. Those are just
check.
Yeah.
We say those are common things for menopause. It's one of those like
well, we
our
say
ways
they're
of
normal.
Knowing, yeah,
they're not normal.
They're not normal.
Right.
It's signaling to us, those things are signaling to us that our nervous system is stressed out. We need to start to support our nervous system so that we can ultimately also support and balance our endocrine system.
Yes, that. It is telling us we're normalizing symptoms that are actually symptoms of dysfunction,
Correct.
not expected to be that
Amen,
way.
sister.
Right.
Amen. Yeah.
And it
Can you say
doesn't
that louder
have
for
to,
the folks in the back, please?
It does not
Right?
have to be that way. We are normalizing symptoms of dysfunction and saying, "Oh, this is the way that's going to be. Your
Something
choice is
off.
here, take another pill."
Right.
Yep.
But something is off if you are experiencing those symptoms, especially if you're experiencing all of those symptoms.
Right.
Correct.
And that's a short list.
This is
It's
just
a
like
really
your
short
very
list.
short list.
Right.
For
There's
sure.
so many
Many
other
more.
things.
Yeah, right. I mean, those are like the top 10, right? Like
Right.
sleep disturbances,
Hot flashes.
muscle, muscle loss and the hot flashes. Those are
Those are the
right at the
biggies.
top,
Right.
for
Yep,
sure.
exactly.
Right.
But there's a lot more, and like you said, we're just saying that's normal.
Right. And it's not.
It really isn't.
No, it's not, and we shouldn't think of it as normal.
And
may
we
be
shouldn't accept it as
common.
normal.
It may be common for people. It is not normal.
No.
It is a dysregulation, dysfunction in our system.
And you
Correct.
don't have to accept that this is just the way it is,
Right.
because it doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
There are people out there that will help you naturally support your body.
So,
You gotta find somebody.
I feel like, there are some women who they breeze through pregnancy,
Mhm.
they breeze through their periods, they breeze through menopause, perimenopause, all of those things with nary a symptom.
And you think that
right?
they're lucky?
Yeah,
Yeah, but perhaps they're not lucky.
Perhaps
right.
they've done
Perhaps they're
something
just
to support
supported
their
in a way
bodies, all
that
of
the
it.
rest of us aren't.
Right.
Whenever I see someone like that, I think if she can do it, so can I.
Mhm.
I don't have to suffer. This is not the way it's meant to be. Look at these people over here. There's a whole bucket of people
Right.
who are not experiencing these things. And it's not because our DNA is that different, because it isn't.
Right.
Yeah, it's how are we supporting our bodies
Correct.
throughout different phases of
Correct.
our lives. Yeah.
Exactly.
And it starts when we were young.
Right.
And a lot of you who may be listening may be in the like fertility years, or you may be getting to that perimenopause, or you may be in that menopause now. We can't go back and change the past, but there are things today that you can start to do that is going to support your body.
Tell me more about that.
Yes. I'm going to put my
Perhaps you can
disclaimer out
lessen your
there already
symptoms.
so I don't forget it.
Yes, do.
So, once again, this is not medical advice. I can't tell you to do something or tell you not to do something. This is just to spark conversations with your healthcare providers and those you are going to forward these type of questions, to start that conversation, to maybe look for other options.
Advocate for yourself.
Correct.
Yes. So, this is
Having
just
said
things that
that,
can
right.
yes.
Let's get to the good stuff.
Yes, exactly. So, like, very simple things, and then I'll go into like a couple more detailed things. My absolute number one thing is regulate your nervous system, because everything else is going to be that much easier. So, like, we could be doing a lot of really good things for our body, but if our nervous system or our brain and spinal cord are dysregulated because of emotional stress, chemical stress, physical stress over the years, nothing else is going to work as well.
Right.
It is your lifeline. If it is dysregulated, everything else is going to be dysregulated. So, number one, find a nervous system based chiro.
And
Mm-hmm.
knowing what I know about what you do, that can literally start from birth.
Absolutely. It should
Right.
actually start at preconception, so that mama who's trying to get pregnant, because stress on mom's prenatal and preconception phase is stress on baby
Yeah.
and the fetus during pregnancy, birth, and then through childhood.
Yeah.
I would also, I just read recently that they have done some studies showing that miscarriages are not always related to the woman's health or reproductive health or anything like that. Some of the time, in fact, maybe even more than some of the time, miscarriages are caused by the male. The sperm is not adequate to support.
We probably should have a whole episode on that, ladies.
Correct.
Oh.
So the reason I'm bringing that up is because, so we just said that, chiropractic care can help support preconception all the way through delivery and beyond. But perhaps your spouse, your partner should be doing that as well.
100%.
So that what they are contributing to this pregnancy
It's
is
50-50,
as healthy
guys.
as it can be.
Yes.
Wow.
To create that little baby, it takes 50% of mom and 50% of dad to create and fertilize the sperm and the egg to fertilize and create that baby. Then mom has a lot of work to do. But I think that, like, to that topic, I think back to, like, a phrase of, we all spend so much time planning for our wedding or whatnot. We plan a year, we plan 2 years for this one big day. Why aren't we spending that much time for that preconception piece? So, like, personally, we're starting a family. We're in that phase of trying right now. And my husband and I, for the last year and a half, have done very strict things to prep our bodies so that when we're ready to start trying and, like, okay, yep, it's go time for baby, like, our bodies and our nervous systems and everything is regulated.
You can support it
And
in
support
the
it.
best way possible. Yeah.
But yes, the males, we need to talk about them too.
That'll be our next series.
Yes, we'll have to do a
I have
series
lots
on that.
Another
to say
time.
about males.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, she's not kidding, but
Scott just informed me that he's listening again.
is he?
So I'm like
So we
adding
have to
these
be
little.
careful.
I'm just adding these little jabs just to see if he's actually
Actually
listening.
listening.
This is one of them.
All
So
right.
Scott, when you hear this, please let us know.
Oh, he'll let you know. All right.
So regulating your nervous system is, like, my number one thing.
Period.
Period.
Regardless of what
Where
phase
you
you're
are
in,
at.
for sure.
Yep.
Right.
And then obviously nourishing foods. I'll go into topics of nourishing foods a little bit in a second here and what, like, vitamins and nutrients your body really needs through this phase, but I'll come back to that one. Movement and strength training. So the older we get,
I know.
the more muscle mass we're gonna lose.
And
So
the harder it is to do all that moving.
Yes.
Yes, and it's harder to put on and keep that muscle mass. Resistance and strength training is so important. I can't emphasize that enough. It is so important for your longevity,
Yeah.
your overall health, your bone density, and just keeping you moving long term.
It is.
It is.
We have had
And
this conversation multiple times.
It gets harder to do though, so it feels like boo hiss, because it's not like when you're younger. I'm not saying that being active is necessarily easy, but it is definitely easier. Yeah. But it's so necessary.
It absolutely is. We had an experience. I don't know if it was 2 years. My timelines. It's probably 2 years ago now.
Close.
We were coming out of a restaurant. We weren't having a burger. Just kidding. We probably were.
I think I did.
Side note, I always get a burger at a restaurant, so can't judge.
We saw a misfortunate accident of an older woman who tripped on the steps, climbing up a curb. And for me personally, and I believe for you too, Tammy, that was a moment of realization of, like, listen, I want to be very nimble when I'm that age.
Yeah.
And that should have started and continued from when I was very young, right? And continued on. But I've had periods of my time where my life that I haven't been active. And if I want to be flexible and active and strong when I'm that age, to hopefully not have an incident like that, I have to absolutely start doing the work
Stuff
on that now.
Correct.
Much to your point in our
Yeah.
previous episodes where you talked about if we had been supporting ourselves truly from childhood on in a different way, some of our experiences
Would be
through these
different.
other
Would be
phases of
different.
our life wouldn't have been as bad as they were.
Right.
The same is true going forward.
Correct.
Excuse me. So supporting yourself now really is an investment in your future.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another thing is stress management. So
Boo hiss, boo hiss.
cortisol fluctuations
No.
worsen menopause symptoms.
Say
Wow.
that again.
For the people in the back.
Right.
Cortisol fluctuations can worsen hang on, let me repeat. Stress management Cortisol fluctuations can worsen menopausal symptoms. The more stressed you are, the more symptoms you can have.
And that is 100% fact based on my personal experience. When I am stressed, I just recently finished a project at work, and it has been a long-term project. For months, I was waking up in the middle of the night, 2 a.m., mind going crazy, can't fall back to sleep for 2 or 3 hours. And I'm like,
What
this
is
is
going
bad.
on?
This is
Yeah.
really bad. It's much worse than it had been. Well, I was at the end of that project that had been going on for two years. And I was high stress. And it didn't dawn on me that it was cortisol.
Those poor little adrenals.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then my project ended. Well, it's still not 100% ended, but the big stuff ended. My big responsibility ended. And suddenly I was able to sleep again a little bit better, right?
And
that
other systems were probably working better too.
Yes.
Because your body didn't have as much stress coming at it. So it can work better, it can function better. That's just complete disease when you're that stressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it absolutely is disease. Agree. So cortisol,
Cortisol.
the C word.
Yep.
Yeah, the
That
dirty C word.
stressful C word. So let's talk about some of those things as far as food goes, those nutrients that we can add in that can help our bodies. So we want those phytonutrients, things like soybeans that can help with balancing out estrogen levels.
Can I
Yeah,
just put a
let's
little
pause
asterisk
there.
there? Because soybeans are so full of
GMO.
GMOs and a lot of chemicals.
Yes.
You have to be very, very careful about the soybeans that
Thank
you
you.
ingest
Yes.
and you buy. I mean, organic and non-GMO, that has to be not
100% right.
for that.
And
Like,
that should be for a lot of things, to be honest with
for
you.
a lot of things, it should be, but for soybeans specifically.
Yes, I agree. Reason I do mention soybeans, though, because they can help with hot flash symptoms.
Oh.
So that's a
Right.
big reason.
You just
for
have
it.
to make sure that they're clean.
Yep, absolutely. Other things that you're gonna want are like some of those good seeds. So things like chia seeds, flax seeds, that can help with actually calcium and bone density because they also have magnesium and phosphorus in too.
All
So-
right. I can get on board with that.
Sure.
Add a little tablespoon of chia seeds to your morning smoothies.
Or yogurt.
Or
Yogurt, yeah.
Yep. Oatmeal.
Oatmeal,
Toss
exactly.
it in there.
Right.
Yep.
So in a previous episode, I talked a lot about cruciferous vegetables, which are things like broccoli.
Mm-hmm.
Also important during menopause because it is going to aid in estrogen metabolism and balance.
I feel like broccoli and spinach are two powerhouses that are never not going to be good.
Honestly, a lot of those cruciferous green vegetables
Mm-hmm.
are so important for our bodies. They do so many beautiful things.
Mm-hmm.
We need to just eat more of them.
Mm-hmm.
High quality protein, because remember I said you're losing muscle mass, lean muscle mass. So making sure you're replenishing your body, so you're rebuilding that protein and strengthening those muscles is so important.
You can't build muscle without protein.
Right.
Correct.
Build protein with protein,
Yeah, absolutely.
really, is what it comes down to, right?
Yep. Omega-3s. So like all of these things you're hearing in this episode are similar things that I talked about in the cycle syncing.
Right, in
So
childbearing
it's no
years.
different
Right.
in your menopause years. Our hormones are very different in menopause, but we still have some of those hormones that we still need to support those hormones.
And probably support them more,
Correct.
right? You have
Correct.
to coddle that. You have to coddle that.
Yes, absolutely.
You
Yes.
get an estrogen in there, and you just have to love it.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, every drop
Get
you've got.
everything.
Yes.
Absolutely.
My little estrogen.
Right. My little bucket of
love it.
estrogen.
I love it.
I'm gonna knit a little koozie for my estrogen bucket.
I'm gonna
Oh,
hug
God.
it and kiss it and call it George.
Call it George.
Don't you remember that cartoon?
No.
It was a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Oh, no.
Oh,
Never
man.
mind.
That's We're going to be researching after this article.
Yeah, Looney Tunes
I'll
George.
send it
Yeah.
to you too.
I love it.
Another thing that can help with like decreasing hot flashes, night sweats, are omega-3s and wild caught fish.
Mm,
Also really good for brain health, omega-3s,
Yes.
fatty acids.
yes.
Which helps with some of the brain fog that you
Yes.
also
Oh, for
experience as part of
absolutely. Yeah.
menopause. Not remembering anything.
Antioxidants are important for just helping with aging. So those berries are so
Yeah.
important.
Mm-hmm.
Other things are magnesium, collagen.
Tammy talks a ton about magnesium
Yeah,
as
absolutely.
it relates to all of
I
this.
do supplement
Mm-hmm.
every day with magnesium, and a lot of it actually. When I don't,
Mm-hmm.
hot flashes are unbearable. The
Yeah.
night sweats are horrible. Muscle spasms.
Cramps, yeah,
Yep. Mhm.
absolutely.
But
twitching, eye twitching.
eye twitches,
Yes.
yeah, yeah. So a muscle
that's true.
spasm. Yep.
That's true.
Heart palpitations. Like it wakes me up at night.
Oh, yeah.
It's terrible. But when I am taking magnesium regularly,
Yeah.
I don't have any of those symptoms.
That's awesome.
Right.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So there are times because, I forget or I get busy or, I usually try to take it before I go to bed. And sometimes I'll find myself in bed and went, oh, shoot, I didn't take it. I'm not going to.
And
If
then
I
you
do that
notice
too
it.
many days in a row,
Yeah.
They're right
Yep,
back.
my eye starts twitching, the heart palpitations. Oh, well, I better get back on track because it's just going to get worse. And it
Yeah.
always does.
So magnesium, there's different types.
I was going to say, there's a couple different
Mhm.
types.
Yeah.
And they do different things. So that's where
For
it's
sure.
like touching base with your
Your
healthcare
healthcare.
provider
Absolutely.
of what form is best for me
For sure.
for these different symptoms.
And I know for myself too, my gut health is not great. I know it isn't. Because I'm not, I have to be careful about the supplement I take. If I take it in one of those hard pill forms,
Mhm.
I don't get the benefits.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I just physically, I don't feel it. If I take it in a liquid form or even in a gummy form, that's better
Mm-hmm.
for sure, much
Mhm.
better.
Yeah.
But otherwise, I am having to take that hard pill for weeks and weeks, maybe even months before I notice a difference.
Oh, interesting.
But if I am taking it in a liquid form, it's just more readily available. My
'Cause then
body
your
doesn't
body's
have to work
absorbing
so
it
hard to
better,
digest.
yeah.
Exactly.
Interesting.
So just because you're taking something and it's not working doesn't mean that it isn't working. It might mean that your body's not able to get at those
Yeah.
whatever it is you're
nutrients, yeah.
giving it. So you might need to switch that up a little bit too. Talk to your doctor about, maybe trying a different form.
Interesting.
Mhm. Absolutely.
Hmm.
Collagen.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I love collagen. I
Yep.
think it's extremely important especially because when we get to menopause, we're like, oh no, it's all downhill. I'm really getting
Your
those wrinkles
joints
and things
hurt.
are starting to hurt and sag. And collagen is important for all of that.
Don't look at my neck.
Oh man.
I take collagen. Don't look at my neck. It would be worse.
Oh, wow. True.
Another one of my favorite supplements, and once again, talk to your healthcare provider, because we live in Wisconsin. Vitamin
Oh,
D3
gosh.
with K
Oh.
Mhm.
is one of my favorite ones for
For sure.
energy, mood.
Brain fog.
Yes,
It does a lot.
helping the immune system,
For
decreasing
sure.
inflammation, all of it.
We just don't get enough sun in
Yeah.
the northern hemisphere.
Not these days. we
No,
don't.
for sure. So, but even in the summer, I mean,
Agree.
unless you're outside in your bikini all day long, you're just not going to get enough.
Right.
And we're very careful about skin cancer. So, even if we are outside, we're oftentimes covering ourselves with sunscreen.
And then your body's not actually
You're not getting the
absorbing-
vitamin D.
Yes,
Exactly. So
correct.
there's so many reasons why we just don't get enough here.
Yeah.
That's a really important supplement.
Mhm.
Nearly everyone in the northern hemisphere is deficient,
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and probably the southern hemisphere too, right?
Yeah.
Unless you're near the equator, you're SOL.
Sorry,
That's
guys.
what I think.
Sorry.
God.
You need a supplement. That's just the way it is.
And I used so like being the holistic healthcare chiropractor, I really used to be like, get it from your foods, all of that stuff. Unfortunately, and I think Tammy, we were talking about this before this episode even started, was our nutrients
soil
aren't what they are because our soils are depleted.
Correct.
Right.
Or they're sprayed with a bunch of crap.
Right.
Right.
So like
Your food isn't
it's
it
not
cannot
what it
nourish
should be.
you like
Correct.
you need it to.
So there
Right.
are times and places for supplementation and
For
adding
sure.
those things in. Once again, talk with your healthcare provider. Find somebody to help you with that.
I still don't think that means you should give up and eat, Doritos every day.
Cheetos, right?
Yeah, that's not what we're
I'm not-
saying,
no.
people.
No,
Right.
I think you should still, try to get more cruciferous vegetables
Yes.
in your life, right?
As much
For
as you
sure.
can from food, we just may need to supplement
On
certain
top
times.
of that,
Right.
Especially
Yes.
certain times of the year, we really do need
Yes.
to. But as much as we can get from the whole source or like the actual food,
Right.
the better it is.
Closer to the source, the
Yep.
better.
Correct.
100%.
Correct.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Oh, here's one for the healthy gut microbiome,
Oh.
a probiotic.
Oh, yeah.
It's just going to help you absorb the nutrients better. It's going to help with overall gut health, immune system health, all of that stuff. Our gut, could be a whole nother topic, are not what they should be.
No.
And we need to support our gut so much
sure.
these days.
Very similar to the endocrine system
Yep.
and the nervous system. Your gut health is just this enormous cog in the function
100%.
of many, many other things.
Well,
Future episode at some point, guys.
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, going back to what we just said a minute ago, if you can't absorb things because your gut isn't functioning properly, then it doesn't matter how many broccoli spears you eat.
Right.
It's not going to pull out all of the good stuff out of that broccoli because it can't digest.
Exactly.
Even as it relates to mental health, gut health is
Oh,
very, very
absolutely.
tied
That's
to
all
that.
connected.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yep.
For sure. I think going back to the probiotics, and I don't know if it's a pro or a pre or a postbiotic. I don't know. There's so many things. I'm not really familiar with all of those. I just recognize some of the terms. But I have found that something that really I've noticed a big difference. I used to get reflux a lot. But if I'm eating sauerkraut regularly, it's a pro or a pre. I'm not sure which
I think it's a
biotic
pro.
it is. That does it has eliminated.
A lot of that.
Yeah, I don't have heartburn at all anymore.
Mhm.
That's awesome.
I'm still careful. Like if I eat tomato-based foods a lot, that will cause a flare-up. But I can easily control it by
Manage
then
it,
having
yeah.
some
Nice.
sauerkraut. So that is a food that really does work well for me. I don't know. I probably could use a supplement anyway, right? Because I don't eat sauerkraut every day. And not everybody likes sauerkraut,
Right,
right? I mean,
right.
I feel
That's the
fortunate
thing,
in that
right.
I like it. So,
Right.
and there have been times where I've craved it. So I feel like that's one
Then
of those
your
things
body's
where
telling
my,
you.
yes, exactly.
Hey,
Yeah,
send some down.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
some good bugs down here.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
Nice.
Yeah. So those are, it doesn't always have to be a supplement, but
Yeah.
unfortunately, we just need them.
So really what I'm hearing you say, Erika, is number one, it's never too late,
No,
right?
not at all.
Like we're
There are
here we
changes.
are, right? In
Mhm.
like menopause and close to menopause phase, here we are. And we can't, like you said, we can't change what we've done,
Mm-mm.
but we can start now,
Right.
right? To be able to support our systems and
Correct.
eat in a way that helps support and supplement it, so that when we are 60 and 70 and hopefully 80 years, we're not looking back to say, gosh, I wish I would have.
had. Right.
Yep. Start now.
Right.
Your future self will thank you.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you guys.
This was really
This
fun.
has been
I know it was a
wonderful.
lot, but this was really fun.
This was awesome.
Yeah.
I'm
Thank
so
you for
excited.
sharing.
Thank you so much. And if you are at all interested in her book, please do go check it out. You have 2 books. This is your second book.
Yes. So this book is all about hormones and the endocrine system and what we can do to support our hormones, whether it be food, exercise, that kind of stuff. My first book is all about the products that are in our house every single day, from what we're putting on our face to what we're scrubbing our body in the shower with, to what we're sleeping on, to what we're washing our dishes with.
Yeah.
All of those things, there is so much forever chemicals and plastics and all of that stuff that is directly going to impact your endocrine system and be hormone disruptors.
And as you talked about, they are the chemical stresses that you
Absolutely.
refer to
Yes.
kind
Right.
of
Yep.
holistically.
Generally.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's where like I created that book first because I was like, people need this. That book's incredible. It's 80 plus pages of resources, links, all you got to do. So let's say your laundry soap is getting low and you want to try something new. Go ahead and click the link. It'll bring you right to the product and you can purchase something that's safer and better, not only for you, but for your family. And then this book is all about hormones and women's health.
Love it.
I love that.
Thank you
So
so
you
much
can
for
find
sharing.
her at
Grounded Roots
There you go.
Chiropractic on Facebook or on Instagram or www.groundedrootschiropractic.com. It's on my website. Otherwise, you can find me personally at Erika Taylor 19. That's where I share a lot of this holistic stuff. Try to keep the office very nervous system based, brain and spinal cord. But we do talk about hormones and the endocrine system because it's
they're all related.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
yeah.
you can buy either or both of those books at all of those places you
Absolutely.
just listed.
Yep.
And we'll have them in the notes of,
100%.
We sure will.
after our podcast too.
Thank you, friend.
Thank you so much.
You
It was
guys
great
for
to see you
having
again.
me.
It's been a minute. And also thank you to Todd at Mind Garden Media for putting our podcast together. If you are interested in starting a podcast, please do reach out to him. They're fantastic. He will guide you through every phase of starting a podcast, from just the idea all the way through purchasing equipment. So reach out to them. You'll find them on Facebook.
Yep. Thank you very much, Todd. We appreciate you. Thank you to our listeners as well. We have a little kitty in the yard who's also listening, and I'm getting sidetracked from him.
Yeah.
By him. So our listeners, we've been talking about, that we are worldwide, and we keep not having access to the information when we want to share and say
We've
thank
had
you.
new
And
listeners, and we
Yeah,
can't quite remember where you're
call-outs.
from. Yeah. I
So-
know Sweden was big for a while.
yeah, in the last 3 months, we're just going to call out what we have here. Thank you very much to those of you, of course, in the U.S.
For sure.
Who have been listening. That's our biggest area. But we've also gotten listeners from India and Ukraine and Canada and Japan, South Africa, Australia, and Russia and France. So thank you all for popping in and seeing what we're all about. We appreciate you.
We do. Please do continue to follow along with us. This is the end of our series with Erika, but it's not, I hope, not the last time we'll have Erika. We
I'll
have
be
so
back.
many more things to talk about.
I'd love that.
I would too.
I would too. Thank you, ladies.
All right.
Till next time then.
Bye.
Toodaloo.